Imagine a safe place to have candid conversations about all things business as a confident Christian woman coach and CEO. Imagine a safe place to share, connect, grow, build as you unlock what's inside you. A confident Christian woman coach and CEO to clarify your specific mission, message, mandate, mantle to market. Imagine a safe place to learn how to develop a business blueprint, lay a firm foundation with business structure, policies, procedures, service, and product development that builds the business framework and construction. Welcome to Confident Woman Incubator Podcast. I am your host, Coach Doreen Lettsome Reid, certified business coach to confident Christian women coaches. Confident Woman Incubator Podcast is a platform for you, Christian women coaches that desire a safe place to unlock what's inside you, to develop a business blueprint, gain clarity of their specific mission, message, mandate, mantle to market, lay a firm foundation with business structure, policies, procedures, service, product development that builds the business framework and construction to overcome fear, shatter misconceptions, increase confidence, and profit by faith in all things business. Welcome to Confident Woman Incubator Podcast. Join us each week for these candid conversations to unlock what's inside you in all things business. Well, hello and good evening. Welcome to Confident Woman Incubator Podcast. I am your host, Coach Doreen Lettsome Reid, and we have our very special episode today, All Things Business World Tour Chat, where we are just meeting with women from around the world. And I want to bring out my very special guest here on Confident Woman Incubator Podcast, Coach Janine. Welcome, Coach Janine. It is such an amazing opportunity to connect with you once again. Once again, we are here together to share, connect, grow, and build globally. So I welcome you to Confident Woman Incubator Podcast. Coach Janine, just tell us a little bit about yourself and, all the different places that you are affiliated with and associated with. We are so eager to just hear your presentation about the 3 C's, your country, your culture, and your Christian business values in all things business.
Oh, thank you so much, Coach Doreen. It's such a blessing always to be with you. And I know that today will be blessed. So thank you so much for having me on your platform. And I'm so excited. I was looking forward for this moment. So together we can continue to empower our community and also our leaders. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, this is really going to be a great conversation. So, I really want you to just take us on a mental tour of all the different countries. Let's start with the country you're actually from, Coach Janine.
Thank you so much, Coach Doreen. So I'm going to start. I'm originally from the Congo, and I know that we have 2 Congos. So we have Democratic and Republic of Congo, and we have Congo Republic. So I am from Congo Democratic Republic, and I've been in this country for close to 23 years now, and I've been to many countries where in Africa. So Congo, it's in Central Africa. So if you can just look at the map, you see in the very central, that's where Congo is. We usually say the heart of Africa. That's where Congo is. So I'm so excited. And I grew up and travel with my parents and different for business as well, and also for the ministry, because I came from the family where entrepreneurs and you see community every day, empowering everybody. So I definitely have that inspiration to be able to continue to give back to the community. So that's the culture and the values. It's usually the culture. You always have to give back. And that's how I see my family doing, my parents, the women in my life who really give me that opportunity and passion to serve. And for the Christian values, You always have to go back to the sources. He's the one who gave us this inspiration to give back and to be the servant leader. Absolutely. So I'll definitely mention Congo, Congo Kinshasa, Congo Brazzaville. I've been to Ivory Coast, Paris, Rwanda, Gabon, and Cameroon. And those are the countries that we usually empower women every single day in business. And also specifically for Tanzania and Kenya, we are just developing teams that we work with them every day to empower the women.
So how are you doing this with so many international connections? How are you able to successfully communicate on an international level? I would like for you to really give us some keys to unlock what's inside us here in the US, because in the US, obviously I am a Christian woman coach that is building a global impact as well. And it's my job to remain teachable and trainable so that I can become profitable, which is why I have this platform. Even though you've been doing something a very long time, you still can learn from other women that are in business. So give us some keys to really help us understand how to communicate on so many different levels, reaching out to the international marketplace in business.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. I think one of the things we should be focusing on with it really to see the need of the community. And that's being, I think in the past, you and now Coach Doreen, we have developed this conversation around listening to the needs, seeing really what it's been needed. That means you starting a conversation with the community, asking, how can I be able to help? Not so much that you come and think that's what they need, but really sitting within the community leaders, asking them questions, and you can just be able to fulfill their needs. So that's one way that I really see them. And also building up relationships. That's very, very key. And it takes really relationship. I've seen some contracts being signed just by nurturing relationships. So it's not so much about really filling out the application or really the resume, but it's really through the circle that you have, that you've been building up the relationship with, and fulfilling the needs that people have in the community, in the church, in the workplace.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is the number one skill is listening.
Yes.
And as you know, John C. Maxwell says all the time, there is a lot of people communicating, but very few people connecting, because
Right.
we're not able to really hear beyond what someone is saying to locate their need. So for you, since you have this plethora of knowledge with the international community and you're building a very successful global brand, what are some questions that we here in the US could ask international women to really make sure that we're understanding and locating the actual needs that they have? And can you tell us some of the needs that these various women from various countries have? Are these needs similar? Or are they different?
So that's a very good question. So one of the things that I need, even though I'm from Congo, from Africa, but each time, wherever I go, different community, different leaders have a different needs. You could be really facing two different companies that they have different needs. For my advice really would be to sit down with community leaders and really do a mental assessment. That's another thing too. If you cannot be there physically as a virtual, you can send them like an assessment sheet, and then through that, both of you guys go together as a company. That's what I will usually do. Like even before any training, I sit down with the leader and start really going through the questionnaire together and see if that makes sense to them. And then there's some question that they don't understand that I will make it clear, so I can be able to help them better understand what are the really needs and what they want me to say. It could be something just to clarify. It could be maybe they just need the resources that they want me to come in and kind of be a negotiator. I've seen that so many times where people, they just necessarily don't need a resources, but they just want me to be the bridge. So it really depends on the needs of the person. Once you do an assessment, and you can be able to tell if it's really they need the resources, or they just need a support, or they need a representative who can be able to represent the value and the culture.
Okay, so this is really, really good. So having an assessment,
Yes,
that is a tool that we commonly use here in the US. I
yes,
know I use it. I have specific questions that
right,
I ask people that I had, someone reach out to me today. I went through the questions that I have to make sure I was understanding how I can serve her, because it's my job as a Christian woman coach to other confident women coaches,
right.
is to really make sure that I am supporting them and elevating them and their business and their brand. That is my job as a certified business coach to confident Christian women coaches. So I was asking her those questions, and to be honest, she was amazed that I took the time to really ask those specific questions. I did not go straight to the packaging. I did not go straight to the sale. I took time to hear what was her need, her goals, her aspirations, and I found out a lot of information. And then I allowed her to ask me questions,
Yes,
because when you're first meeting one another, we can't assume, that I know you and you know me. Even though we look at each other and vet each other online, it's a
right.
difference when you are having a conversation.
Mhm.
Do you find that that would be true as well internationally as well?
Absolutely. But one thing I remember, I think it was in Congo, Brazzaville, or also in Ivory Coast, I will use that example where I had to do the assessment, but I really found that two different groups that I was working with, they had two different needs. So on my sheet, I had to change the question and I asked them, so what are the questions that you guys want me to change? So it will be more acceptable. It will be more really fit the culture. So I had to change some question that I had and eventually prepare for them. That, and because there were two different groups of leaders that they had two different needs. So as a leader, that's why you have to be very quickly to adjust. And also there were one group in Ivory Coast, I remember, they really wanted a small group instead of a bigger group. So I had to really change the way of doing assessment just to make them feel comfortable. So I had to have a
Okay,
very
okay.
two separate group and small group setting so they can be able to open up more and give me the data that I really needed.
Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying. You have to be adaptable.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, okay. So you can't be rigid when it comes to reaching this international marketplace. You must be cohesive to and aligning yourself with the specific need through this assessment, getting that communication, making sure you're verifying that. And then even after you verified it, you still have to be adaptable, because those needs may change based on the person that you are communicating with. And what you're saying is you normally use the communication with the community leaders, because they are the ones that are putting on the events. They're the ones that are gathering all this information. They are the ones that you're doing business with. Is that what you're hearing? What I'm hearing correct?
That's why you hear it correctly. And another thing too, I wanted just to make sure that I really understand the needs. I did understand the need of the leader, but also the people that they're serving. So I cannot really ask them a permission to be able to meet with the staff, because I want to really match the needs if it's really the same. I was really impressed to see that they really match what the leader was saying. But in another group, they will match needs that they just needed somebody to sit there and listen and be able to accommodate. So because they were telling me how different people have come and they haven't been able to be successful because they were not very flexible. They say
Okay.
that we appreciate you respecting the way we cooperate, the way we open up about doing business, because most of the time, unfortunately, some people, they come, in a very professional way, different way. It's at 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. Some of the meeting I have to do in the evening. Some of the meeting I have to do on the weekend. So being flexible, that also, it showed me the engagement at the end, and I really did get the data that I was really needed.
Okay, so I'm hearing a lot of keys to unlock what's inside you. I'm hearing being having extreme listening skills. I'm hearing being willing to gather information ahead of time through assessments, detailed, intentional questions that will promote understanding for you to be able to facilitate the specific needs. I'm hearing that flexibility is a must because it's nothing is written in stone. You will have to
Yes,
be able to change on the fly. You will
yes.
have to be able to adapt on the fly.
Mhm.
So your mind as a business leader for international would have to be quick thinking, problem solving, critical thinking.
Yes,
You would already have to uh, really study the client is what I'm hearing. It would be a lot of studying in advance to anticipate some things that you may need to have in order based on the previous conversation, the previous exchange of communication. You would not want to put yourself in a place or a position that you just don't know what to do. So
exactly.
what I'm hearing is spending a lot of time up front getting as much data, information, and research independently of yourself outside of the client is really what's going to help you be successful internationally. Is this correct?
This is correct. And one more thing that I think we might be able to be mindful of is that those data and those information that you need, you might get them in a different setting. It might not be, like at a coffee shop, or it might not be, at an office. It might be, just in a family setting, really informal conversation, informal meeting and setting. So, and then they have a lot of celebration. I was really, I mean, I knew this because I grew up in Africa, in Congo, but many of our viewers, I want them to know that most of the meetings and the data you need, it might be in a form of you guys are eating, they invite you to eat. You never have to say no. You have to say yes, because culturally, that's how they see that you accept them and you are really becoming, actually one of them and part of the community.
Well, the ultimate businessman taught this to us. Remember, Jesus Christ said when he sent out the disciples, he gave them specific instructions
Yes,
that when they went to a person's house, they were to receive the hospitality. What was
yes,
being offered to them needed to be accepted so that
right.
there was no jealousy involved, that there was no strife and contention and covetousness involved. He was very intentional about the instructions that he gave his disciples. So obviously, we continue this 2,000 years later because he's still the ultimate businessman, which makes us kingdompreneurs. This is why we are doing what we are doing to advance God's kingdom in
That's right.
all things business, because he first taught us how to relate to one another internationally in
Right.
business. He taught us how to relate to one another locally in
Yes.
business. He is the true ultimate businessman, and we can find these things in the perfect business plan, which is the word of God. So a lot of times people are not even equating the Bible as a perfect business plan. We're overlooking it as the perfect business plan. We're seeing it as the Bible. We're seeing it as a source of maybe something that I pray from, but we're not seeing it as a source where we get wisdom and knowledge and understanding about business. And
Yes.
so what I would like to do is I'm hearing a lot of keys that we would find in the perfect business plan, which is the word of God: being teachable, being trainable, being flexible, being hospitable, being adaptable. Because when the disciples went out, they didn't really know where they were going to go. They had to really be led by the Spirit. They had to have conversations with people. And like you said, usually these environments were very casual, very casual. Now, for us that are here in the US, and of course, as we are building a global brand, most of my everything that I'm doing is virtual. It's very virtual. So, how would we gain this knowledge from the international community if we're not there supping bread with them
Right.
face to face? How would we continue to build this community and have this opportunity to really share and gain this conversation and this trust building if it's virtual, because we're not physically there?
Right. So I'm glad you asked that question, and that's why people like myself and many more that we creating that bridge. We are the liaison company that we can be able to facilitate that, because even though I'm located here in the United States right now, but I already have team in different countries because I saw that need and I wanted really to be the bridge, the company that can be able to facilitate my brothers and sisters who are coming from London, from United States, from Canada, who really need those place to be in place, and the team to creating that. And another thing too, I don't know if our viewers really, many of them already have a WhatsApp group. They need to sign up. It's a free app that everybody who wants to bring the business global, you must have Telegram or you must have WhatsApp, because that's the only way they can hear you, they can ask you questions, and they can be able to trust you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so when we had hello, Miss K, how are you, Miss Farmer? Welcome to Confident Woman Incubator Podcast. We are
Welcome.
here talking to Coach Janine. She is talking about she is from the Congo. She has a French background, Paris background, global trotter, global international business. And we are here just learning from her. So we welcome you into the conversation.
Thank
She is
you.
she has given us a lot of keys to really help us learn how to brand our businesses globally.
Okay, awesome.
So, yeah, she's given us a lot of keys to really unlock what's inside you on a global market. Just some really good things. And I'm going to let her recap since you just joining us. Okay. Coach Janine, can you kind of like recap what we are talking about so that Kay can ask you some questions and get some feedback from her as well?
Absolutely, and welcome. Definitely, to me, I was just, talking to Coach Doreen about the most important things for us right now. It's to really bridge that gap, and that's my passion, to be able to be that liaison company that I can be able to prepare. If I say prepare the way for my sisters and brothers who are coming from different places, so they can be able to feel welcome and be able to do the assessment. Because one of the things that we can be able to do to help people is to first listen. When you listen for somebody, then you can be able to help them better. So to me, I was just sharing with Coach Doreen about how we can be able to be flexible, to be able to be coachable, and making sure that we're listening and we go first to the leaders. Once they trust us, that they can be able to open up the door for us, so we can be able to really to do the assessment. And most of the time, I've done assessment in different countries in Africa. It was very informal, setting. It was not at the office. It was really in a setting where the leaders are comfortable talking to me
Nice.
about the leaders and the needs, and together we can be. So it's really like a partnership that you're studying with them. So you serve them so they can be able to open up and invite, the team. So I had to be flexible even with my own assessment. I went in two different countries where they have two different needs, even from Africa. I was in Africa Coast and in the Congo Brazzaville, where I talked to the leaders, and both of them, they were serving in the same industry, but they had two different needs. So I had to change even my question, the way I was engaging them, because one of them, they wanted a small group setting. So they didn't want a big opening so people can come and ask a question. So I had to respect that and change quickly and look at a very small setting. And then it took like 2 to 3 days for people to give me really the data that I really needed.
Oh, okay. Good, good.
Yeah, this is really good because, if you are going to reach a global market, Miss K, as we know,
Mm.
information like this is invaluable
Oh, yeah.
to take our businesses to a global market. She's actually telling us how to do business in the Congo, how to do business in London, how to do business abroad.
Yeah.
But a lot of the things that she's given us are things that we're already doing here in the States,
Mm-hmm.
like having a willingness to listen to one another, not just communicating and doing a bunch of talking, but
Mhm.
really listening
Yes.
to one another to build that business to business relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So, Miss Kay, I want to give you an opportunity to let everyone know who you are, what your business is, and also if you have any questions for Coach Janine.
Oh, hello, Coach Janine. Nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, what I do right now, I am a 9 to 5 essential healthcare worker. So I do work full time. And I do have another business that I work. It's called the Welva Kit. It's the phenomenal Mature Woman Journey to a Happier Life. And I kind of just named it that because getting to a happier life means so much different things to different women. And so we just kept it on that level. And we can do what we do, workshops and seminars where they can develop, where they can grow, they can find their next level to what they want to do. And it's really called the Mature Woman because it's like for the 50 plus woman to have somewhere else to go. Right now, a lot of women here, they either go to church or they go to, the senior citizen center. So we just wanted them to have another option where they could network and mingle and discuss things that are important to them with other women their own age, other women that's probably, in the same situations that they are in. But we keep it more on a lighter note, not so heavy, just really fun, and also in somewhat of a social environment where they'll be comfortable and want to come back again for the next workshop and seminar. That's what we do. Hey, man.
All right. Miss K, tell us a little bit more about what kind of workshops that you're having and where are you located?
Okay, right now we're located here in Birmingham, Alabama. It was important to us to start within our own community, which is Birmingham and surrounding cities, and trying to just build a really good brand and a reputation of being an organization that people would really want to, participate with. Like our first, our first workshop will be coming up in September, and it's titled A Mix and Mingle. We want to make sure we always put that kind of social element in it, but it's called Mix and Mingle Next Level Vision Workshop. So we call it a vision workshop because we know that our vision is really our foundation for our next. So we got to build a good foundation and we got to get that vision on track. What it is we really want, where we really want to go. We want to just build up goals and have good strategies to help us achieve those goals. Because, we tell everybody, hey, no matter how old you are, don't stop dreaming. Don't stop achieving. So even if you're 50 or 60, you still might want to take a trip to Hawaii. So now you got to figure out how you're going to get there, what it's going to take, how much money, who's going to go with you. So you'll start setting that vision in play by building a goal to get you to that. Because, hey, going to Hawaii, that's your happier life right there, right? Amen. So that's what we do here. And we're hoping it, catch on like a wildfire. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that the name phenomenal
Mm-hmm.
immediately takes the ladies that you are targeting out of their comfort zone to
Right.
let them know that I am phenomenal. I'm 50 and over and I'm just getting started. And I
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's a very good branding strategy. Coach Janine, any kind of strategies that you would like to give Miss K that will help her elevate her brand locally because she's building from the grassroots. That's called grassroots marketing. She
Mm-hmm.
has to start somewhere. She's building that business to community relationship, community to business relationship. So I know you're coming from a global perspective, but you deal with the community a lot where you are in Africa. And these are, keys that all of us can use here on Confident Woman Incubator podcast. So Coach Janine.
Absolutely. And you're doing amazing work, Coach Kate. Thank you so much, Queen Kate. And one thing I would say, just continue to do what you're doing right now and continue to serve those leaders. And maybe, I don't know if you already have an assessment, but just, ask them some quick question that might be able to help you to get to know them better. And you
Right.
can build up upon that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Awesome.
Yeah, because that assessment will help you build the next workshop and the next workshop, and it will help you build the brand. And it can simply be done in Google Docs. So
Right.
you create the in Google Docs, and then you send them a link. If you have of course, you're building an email list. So
Right.
once you get their email list, that link of assessment can be sent to them immediately,
Mm-hmm.
and then as they click the link and they answer the questions, you're gathering that survey, you're gathering that information. And
Mm-hmm.
by all that data that you're gathering, that's how you begin to really strategically and intentionally
Mm-hmm.
build a workshop. And then that's also how you're going to build your revenue because the problem is going to attract the solution. Okay, you have the solution, but you don't know the problem. So the problem attracts to the solution. So in order for that solution to be attract to you, the problem to be attract to you, the solution, you have to have some type of assessment, some type of way to know what they're doing. And I think that's a really good, simple idea. I have done that. I didn't used to do that because I didn't know to do that when I first got started. But as I had, get in this, I've been doing this a while. I've learned things like what Coach Janine is saying, just from listening to other coaches, listening to other women that are more experienced or have more knowledge. I've learned these little tricks to the trade that's going to help you bring the profitability also into your business as well, because those assessments does turn into revenue. Coach K.
We do have an assessment that they do, and we also offer all our workshop comes with a workbook and a journal, so they are able to work and write down what it is we are talking about. And we've also are including what I call a vocabulary list. Because sometimes when people get amongst everybody, then you get to looking at these questions and you just get a brain freeze. Because one of the questions is, list 3 to 5 people that has characteristics of someone that you would want to follow. So now they might be thinking about the characteristics, but just can't put it right in the words. So we give them a little a nudge, a prompt where they can follow through. Because, we are mature women and we still here for ourselves when they're at the workshop. But that don't mean we're not thinking about our family while we're there. Like, oh, did Bubba get picked up from work on time? So we want to make sure they stay glued in and focused. And so we have other little things in place that's going to make sure they are interactive.
I love that. I love that. That vocabulary. Oh, that's a very good idea. That's a good icebreaker too.
It is. Yes.
That is a very good icebreaker because it gets people in the room talking.
Yes.
And it generates conversation and it's fun because you can get to hear everybody's characteristics. Now that's really good for an in-person event, to create the energy, to create the buzz. And then they have a tangible that they are leaving and taking away your marketing material, and then they can show it to someone else, and then that person can bring. So, and this can be done virtually as well. So when someone comes into my classes or my coaches, they have tangibles. They're getting workbooks. They're getting checklists. They're getting Google Drives. They get all their homework is done in a Google Drive. You can go back and look at it and see it and all this stuff. And so I think that's a very, very good. I love the vocabulary sheet. I love that because you can actually turn it into an ebook. Right. So what you can do is take all of the vocabulary sheets and you can just list it with that. The name of it could just be those characteristics. The same question that you're using as a prompt, you can turn that into an ebook. And so that it can be making money for you while you're asleep.
Right. Yes.
Because people can literally click it on. It's $1.99. Make it very reasonable. What you want to use that is for a funnel system. So as people you're getting it online, you're putting it on Facebook, you're putting it on your website, they can literally click on while you're asleep, you're making money. $1.99, they can get this. And then when they come into that, then you can give them an invitation to the actual in-person event. So this is how you can really start making money and also start branding. As long as you have a website, people can reach you anywhere in the world and they can get that ebook and those vocabulary, that prompting, all of that is really, really good. I like that.
I actually have about 5 or 6 ebooks already. So yeah, I'm very familiar with the ebook. About to drop probably under my personal brand, which is the Happy Life Advocate. That's how I market myself. I'm the Happy Life Advocate. So I'm going to be having a Beyond Beauty. It's called Beyond Beauty Wellness, but I call it an e-handbook because it's something you just want to be readily handy. When something crosses your mind, you want to be able to boop, boop, there it is. I remember this is what I need to do, or let me share this with a friend. So I call it an e-handbook, and I'm already finished with it. I just got to do a few more touches of it, but I'm not ready to release it yet. And as far as the Velvet Kit, what we're going to be doing also when we do some workshops, 1 or 2 workshops. The workshop invitees is going to get a special invitation to our Wellness Day Escape. Now, I have done a couple of those in the past under my previous business name, which was called Beyond Beauty Wellness, and I recently changed it to The Welvakit, which I'm waiting on my trademark to come in any day now. So I'm going to market it to them as, hey, we want you to attend our Wellness Day event. What that is a full day of healthcare specialists just talking about this and that, the shopping, getting your blood pressure checked, and we're going to have some music, and that's how we're going to, end our workshops. And then we're going to start a new cycle of workshops. And we're just going to see how that goes. So
well, I tell you what, y'all are on the move, Miss K.
Yeah. Good job.
And it seems like everything that we mentioned you're already doing. So this is like a confirmation that you are moving in the right direction. So what would you say that would be the true statement, that like everything we've been mentioning you're already doing? So it's like a confirmation to you?
It is a confirmation to me, and I definitely appreciate coming on and chatting it up, because we all need confirmation. I need a confirmation that my meatloaf is good. So when I cook it for my family, I don't want them to just eat it and walk on by. I'm going to say, was that good? Yeah. I'm mad because if you want it again, I need you to show appreciation. But thank you so much for that. I am the Welvakit and the Happy Life Advocate. I don't have a partner, but what I have done is put together what I call contract workshop facilitators. And so I go out and recruit me some. And one thing, when I recruit them, they have to be able to facilitate from my workbook, because I want it to be consistent. That's why I pick topics and women that I know will not have a problem with it, and because I have topics that will reach them as well. They say, okay, I love this topic. I can do this. This is easy to follow. I can bring your vision into the workshop, and we can get it done. So that's what I like. But we'll see, because like I said, this will be my first one. And a couple of the women I have worked with before, and I know their reputation. They definitely are women of God, and they love everything. They love everything they do. So it'll be good.
Oh, wow. This is really good. So Coach Janine, I'm going to let you wrap up everything that we've talked about a little bit in your French, because we want to welcome our French audience right before we close here on Confident Woman Incubator podcast. So just go ahead and do a quick wrap up for everyone in our French audience.
Oh, thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. En tout cas, moi, c'est Coach Janine. Je suis avec Coach Doreen et puis Coach Kate. Nous sommes vraiment en train de parler dans tout ce qui est business dans la chrétienté. Donc, nous sommes dans la joie aujourd'hui de parler de ça et de voir les parcours, comment engager notre communauté. Donc, plusieurs leaders, ils sont toujours en train de chercher comment parler et comment résoudre des solutions, comment trouver des solutions pour des problèmes. Et pourtant, tu devras seulement s'asseoir avec quelques leaders et en train de faire le assessment qu'on a besoin, parce que c'est vraiment important. Tu ne peux pas amener des solutions si tu ne connais pas. Donc, tu dois être en mesure de parler et de résoudre ces problèmes, mais de poser des questions et les vraies questions. Alors, pour nous, aujourd'hui, on est en train de parler avec Coach Doreen. On est en train de dire comment est-ce que c'est vraiment important de commencer à résoudre, mais de s'asseoir surtout avec les gens qui sont déjà dans le leadership. Alors, le plus important en ce moment, c'est quoi? C'est que nous sommes toujours en train de chercher des solutions de nos propres moyens. Nous sommes en train de, il faut s'asseoir et commencer à chercher comment est-ce que tu devras poser les questions, à quel moment et combien, comment est-ce qu'ils vont commencer à résoudre petit à petit. Et tu apprends, parce qu'on ne connaît pas tout, on ne sait pas comment poser des questions, mais chaque fois, lorsque nous sommes en train d'amener des solutions, et à chaque fois que nous sommes en train de s'asseoir, mais on ne retrouve pas des solutions. Mais le plus important, c'est de poser des questions, s'asseoir avec des gens et puis surtout accepter, être flexible, plutôt écouter. Ça, c'est le plus important de tout. Écouter les instructions et changer ce que tu as, que ce soit l'assessment que tu as fait il y a 2 ans, ça peut changer aujourd'hui. OK? Merci beaucoup.
All right. Thank you so much. I love working with Coach Janine. She just brings such a global flair to everything. Yet the keys that we got tonight are so practical. We can use them right where we are in our local businesses as we continue to build and grow and share. Miss Kay, anything you want to say in closing tonight? Any questions you want to ask or anything you want to say in closing?
I know a little French. Oui, monsieur.
There we go. Yes. Merci beaucoup.
I enjoyed you, ladies. I really enjoyed you all. Thank you.
Oh, me too. Me too.
We learned something. This is why I love the Confident Incubator podcast. I love bringing women together that don't know each other because your network just literally went through the roof. Your net worth just increased. Your confidence just increased. And we are here to unlock what's inside you. Put it in the comment. Hashtag the Confident Woman. We'll see you next week. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Coach Doreen. Thank you, Coach Kay.
Thank you. Good night and have a good Coach Kay, you can stay with me. Thank you so much. This is the end of the broadcast.
Bye-bye, ladies.
All right. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.